A disturbing arrest in Florida just days after the Uvalde, Texas massacre. A 10-year-old boy from Florida now charged with threatening a mass shooting in his elementary school. Our next guest says his officers immediately investigated the threat, putting safety at the forefront. Here with more, Lee
10-year-old.
Sheriff Carmine Marcino.
10-year-old. I want you to understand, 10-year-old. The question I want you to ask yourself is, what were you doing when you were 10? What kind of threat were you making to your classmates, to your friends, in your neighborhood, wherever you hang out, at your after school activities? What were you doing when you were 10? What were you doing when you were 10 years old? Unbelievable. This is the reality that we're living in today. This is the reality that we're living in today. Parents, parents, parents. Oh my word, I cannot say this long enough. 10. He's 10 years old. There's almost little to zero, really, that we can really put on that child. He's a child. Okay? Let's listen.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing okay. So explain what went down. This kid sent a text around and he was talking about shooting up his school, right?
Yeah, what happened was obviously the text message came across. There was a wad of cash. There was rifles, and with the texts that were threats of get ready. And you know, I've been very consistent.
Look at this poor child.
Tolerance. The second we get a threat, no matter what that threat
This is going to be in his record for life.
We jumped on it immediately.
You did a campaign, fake threat, real consequence. Obviously, you followed through on that.
Seriously,
Yeah,
of course.
simple. I'm asking parents and guardians, I've asked them multiple times, sit your child down and explain, because we know children make mistakes, but we need the parents and guardians to sit down.
Of course, like I said. Thank you, Sheriff. Like I said, at 10 years old, there's little to zero that you can put on that child. What type of environment is he growing up in? What's the mood of the home? How in the name of nonsense can he get an electronic to even send a text like this? How? Why? How come? Where are his parents? What type of supervision is he having? He's 10. He's 10. There's not really much you can put on a 10-year-old right now. He's 10. What type of conversation is happening around the dinner table? If people actually sit down at the dinner table anymore these days. Because, hey, progressive parenting, right? You come out of the womb whenever you feel like it. The dinner has been ready for the past 4 hours, okay? Unbelievable. Fake threat, real consequences, obviously. Because this is no joke. This is no joke. He obviously watched long enough. He's watched things long enough on the TV. He's listened to different conversation for him to decide. Of all the threats that he could choose, he chose this one. Parenting these days, such a disgrace, such a disgrace. They're coming with the latest term, conscious parenting, free range parenting, helicopter parenting, gentle parenting, all bogus. When it's all said and done, the character of the child is completely ignored, completely left unnourished, left not taken care of properly. 10-year-old.
Today, we need to get back to the old school. I can tell you this, you know, when I was growing up, my parents just looked at me and I knew.
I know, officer. I know. This is what I'm saying. I know. But apparently in progressive modern day parenting, it's called abuse. I want to know, for all of us who were born in the 19th, so let me get the 70s, who am I kidding? 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000, I'm being very generous if I say early 2000, but hey, if you were born in the 60s up until the 90s, I want to know, why are we not living on pills? Why, after apparently we've been so abused by our parent, yet we seem to be the generation that is holding it together? Gen Z, I can guarantee you, from 8 years old up until 20 something, 25, most are on antidepressant. Most have suicidal thought on a regular basis. Most are dealing with anxiety and depression. Most. You mean to tell me us apparently who have been so abused and we got so much trauma going on, all of that. My mom, my mom would talk to me, I turn around. If I walk too fast, I will get a look. Slamming the door at my mom's. On whose? What house? My mom's house? Oh, really? Yes. Yes, Sheriff. We share the same mindset. Let's go. This is such a sad story.
Sure. You put out the mugshot and you put out the name and you did the perp walk. What's the reaction to that been? Because he is 10 years old. He's a minor.
It's simple for me. I'm going to do it every single time. It's consistent. My message is consistent no matter what age. If a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 18-year-old presses a trigger, the aftermath is the same.
Yes, because this is no joke. This is no joke.
This great state of Florida means business.
Yes, it's no joke.
To the kid, the 10-year-old. Did he say why he did it?
I didn't specifically talk to him. My detectives did. But again, I know it's a mistake. But every single text, every single threat, we don't wait 1 second.
If they did not respond, they will be crucified. The whole state of Florida would have been crucified if they did not respond, and then an action were to follow that threat.
Every detective, all hands on deck. I mean business.
Obviously, and they also mean business in Hillsborough County down there in Florida as well. They arrested an 18-year-old by the name of Corey Anderson. He posted pictures of himself with what looked like a rifle and a handgun and a tactical style vest. And you can see this was what he texted. It said, "Hey Siri, directions to the nearest school."
Unbelievable.
Turns out they weren't real guns, they were pellet guns. But nonetheless,
it doesn't matter.
Threat.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. They grew up not knowing the concept of your action have consequences. They grew up with this whole nonsense of gentle parenting. We don't want to everything is a trauma these days. Oh my goodness, everything is a trauma. Every behavior is a trauma these days. They grew up in an environment where the inmate are running the asylum. They run the show. The parents were walking on eggshell in their own home. They pay for the Wi-Fi. They pay for the bill that comes with for the internet, the electricity, the video games that they buy, the type of TV show they watch, yet the parent pay. They turn out to be like 18. He just left school. 18. What kind of home did he grow up for him to think, "Hey Siri, what in the world is going on in the parenting world? What in the world is going on?" Unbelievable. This is so sad. I have no word. I absolutely positively have no word other than wow. This is sad. This is outrageous. This is sad.
Fellow sheriff brother of mine does a great job, and he has the exact same stance. Child safety is number one. You can't take any chance. You have to take everything as real until proven otherwise.
Yes.
Sheriff, what's going on with our kids?
Well, I'll tell you, I think we need to get back to the old school.
Yes.
What are the repercussions? You make an adult threat and you're a child. Okay, when you go home, are the parents and guardians sitting your children down? I got to tell you, early this morning, I watched one of your attendees talk about paddling. Okay, when I was growing up, the nun hit you with a ruler, a wooden ruler. Okay, you understood what was right and wrong. So what do? Society says, well, if your parent disciplines you and there's any kind of abuse, come forward so we can report your parent. So parents are afraid. They're afraid to discipline their kids.
Over my dead body. Parenting from a place of fear. And then this is the consequences. This is so sad. This has been a moment with Christy.
It's an honor. Thank you.